Make sure it's all good. Welcome back to this week's episode of EVTV. I'm Emmett.
And I'm Evan.
Wish Week took place 1 week ago in order to get Marley to Disneyland. One of our new fundraisers was the Car Smash. This next story will show us what the Car Smash looks like.
Wish Week is an honored tradition of this school. Every year we hold Wish Week for a kid and we all join in to support them. This year we added a new event, the Car Smash.
The idea of the Car Smash has been thrown around for a pretty long time, but I believe the student finally able to convince our sponsors and the principal was Owen Murray.
The Car Smash was completely free to achieve and only cost $2 a minute and a signed safety waiver. It went on Monday after school on March 11th and during A and B lunch on the 12th. The Car Smash used locally sourced cars and met every safety expectation thrown at it.
Cars were generously donated by Trinity Recycling. Due to Trinity sourcing the cars and the Murray family bringing in their sledgehammers, our event was completely free. The principal required us to remove all glass from the car as well as all the fluid. The sponsors had us make safety waivers for students and their parents to sign.
The Car Smash was a great hit thanks to so many people. Now, a word to our sponsors.
I would like to thank some of the staff, as the principal is the one that gave us the go-ahead and our sponsors gave us permission. I would also like to thank Mr. Vaughn for providing the safety goggles.
This has been Tila Vasquez with Eagle Valley Student Media.
In this next story, we ask EVHS about the current issue of slurs being repeated in the hallways.
One of the biggest complaints that come from both students and teachers is the amount of slur usage in the classroom and hallways. Slurs like the F-slur, N-word, and others are used as derogatory terms at school. How do slurs hold so much power? Why is it such a problem in our community?
It's really incredible that that's still an argument.
There's not that many people at this school that look like me in general, especially in the valley as a whole.
Unfortunately, I hear them a lot here at Eagle Valley High School, both in the classroom, written on walls. I know that every single time I hear one of them in my classroom, I try to stop it, but the fact of the matter is there's 30 kids often in class and they're all having conversations. And unfortunately, when you have that many voices, it's really easy to have one slip through the cracks. I think that, along with the fact that a lot of times there are kids who are smart they read the room and know who's there. And there's a part of them that does know it's not appropriate to say, so they try to find another situation where they can get away with it.
I hate whenever I explain how it makes me feel uncomfortable and how I don't say it because it makes me feel uncomfortable to say, and they shout it at me or around me, or whenever people ask me to say it because they think that it's funny. I wouldn't go up to a Hispanic person and call them the B slur and be oh, it's just a funny joke because you're Hispanic, just like you don't go up to a black person and call them the N-word just because they're black.
Miss Miner and Michaela agree over the importance of education surrounding LGBTQ and racial lessons. This kind of education can create less hate and more understanding for teachers and students alike.
I feel it should be the same thing as sex ed, to where you have to learn these things because after high school, you go out into the real world, and if you're just thinking that you can talk and be a certain way, then you could get hurt.
Especially as a history teacher, I think that there's so many walks of life and there's so many different ways where people have experienced discrimination or hatred or all these different things, and it's a very prominent theme throughout history. It happens in almost every single decade and every single era. And so to completely shut off that conversation, not be willing to have it, is definitely an injustice to growth and learning as human beings.
In further argument, Michaela and Miss Miner argue that the usage of slurs can hurt a person's form of identity.
They try to use that to insult another peer's intelligence. I don't know if there's a clear-cut solution, because unfortunately, in order to have a conversation, you need to have both parties who are willing to come to the table and talk about it. And I know that when I've tried to approach it with students, it becomes very defensive of, it's not that bad. Why is it bad?
I feel like I'm already struggling with my acceptance of like being like a young Black woman and like not knowing where I belong and feeling like I look wrong and like worrying if like I'm getting like profiled as like, you know, like how I feel like I'm getting like racially profiled. And so like whenever like people like say that to me and I don't say it, like I like struggle a lot with just wanting to like accept myself as like a young woman of color. Just on slurs as like a whole, I feel like there should just be like punishments. Like it's like the same thing as like bullying. Like if you go and like bully someone, like you get punished.
From Eagle Valley Student Media and PBS Student Reporting Labs in Gypsum, Colorado, this has been Emmett Brown.
And as always, we end the episode with a short Jordan sports review.
Let's see what's going on in the sports world.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Jordan Sports Review. We are going to start off today with some basketball. Boys basketball team made the playoffs first round, finished 14-10 on the regular season. Unfortunately, fell short to Palmer in the first round. Girls basketball unfortunately failed to make the playoffs. They finished 11-12. Great season for them still. Yeah, high school hockey, Battle Mountain / Eagle Valley combined, and they survived the first round against Lewis Palmer despite getting outshot 41-17 throughout the entire game. They win that one 7-5 and move on to the second round to face Glenwood, a very good team, number 2 in the state. Durango, a little bit of a surprise. They make it into the state championship. Summit then knocked out Glenwood in the next round. The Colorado Avalanche sunk down to 3rd place in the Central Division, but fortunately a shutout victory over the Chicago Blackhawks last night. Nuggets, I believe, still in like the 3rd or 4th seed. Nikola Jokic been great as usual. Yeah, that is going to be pretty much it. Actually, surprisingly short. Spring training for baseball coming on. The Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani looking good. More information on baseball in the later ones. But until then, toodaloo, au revoir, bye.
And as always, thank you for watching this episode of
EVTV. See you next week.